enjoying a nice evening in London. How about you?
Pretty good. Just working on some hardcover bugs and you know enjoying a somewhat relaxing week after a busy week last week.
Yeah, how was the music festival?
It was fun, but yeah, it was exhausting.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my wife was also just like I think we were both dead on our feet by the end of it. So
Wow.
yeah, I have a lot of respect for people who can do that for like 3 days or something over a weekend
Y-
because it's
Yeah, I was.
taxing.
Wow. Yeah, I bet. I was about to ask if you went up full like 3 days.
We went one day,
Okay.
but
Yeah, believe me, I get you.
yeah, 10 hours one day was plenty. We were like, yeah, I think tomorrow we should just stay home and watch the Eurovision final.
Yeah. Yeah. I watched a bit of that. I actually watched the act that one was it. It was Switzerland, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But then I had to take my son for a bath. So yeah, I just heard it. Yeah, nice. Glad to hear you've been like enjoying that. I know like festivals are. I mean, I really like done the rounds at festivals up to a couple of years ago, but yeah, they are taxing after a certain age. Not saying that we're old, but
Instead of like sitting a little more than when I was 20.
Yeah, exactly. Let's put it that way. Sounds great.
How
Yeah.
about you? How's your last week been?
It's been pretty good. It's been very hot in London after a pretty cold streak. So I went out on a picnic, and yeah, it was
Hmm?
pretty fun.
It sounds nice.
Yeah, yeah. Over here, when it gets like over 20 Celsius, everybody's out in the park. So it was a park. I mean, all the parks basically, but this one's near us, and yeah, full of people. So
Nice.
yeah, it's kind of like an impromptu event. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, just like getting out in nature for the littlest amount of time is like very refreshing.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty nice. I took my son Jonah with his bare feet on the grass, so he enjoyed that a lot. So that was basically the highlight. He was very excited. Just
It sounds very cute.
yeah, yeah, it was pretty fun. Nice. Yeah, and with hardcover, we had a very surprising week this week, and
Yeah,
over the weekend.
yeah.
Yeah.
On Saturday morning, just as I was getting ready to leave for 10 hours at a music festival, we realized that we were getting a lot of new users that day. We had like 100 in the morning, which like tied our all-time best. And yeah, it turns out that uh, someone made a video about YouTube on YouTube, and let me get the link to share it in the chat here.
Yeah, shout out to both Haley and Ross for the videos. Basically, you contributed to our best days of hardcover because of the videos you posted. So I guess thank you, and it's been really fun to see like so many people join and our servers like holding up. That was like uh, good a good stress test, I guess. How was it on your end? Because you're basically like in charge of.
I I think like the errors that we've had are not ones that are due to scaling. They're kind of like ones that we already had, and having so many more people using the site, we see those we see more of the same error. So it kind of helps us prioritize like what errors more people are seeing so we can fix those first. But they're normally things uh, like in the background hitting the server failed, and then that caused something like or maybe something timed out because um, the database was processing a lot from having a whole lot of imports going at once. I think that's probably the biggest like large scale concern is like we're right now we're doing a lot of imports, and so those are very taxing on the database. And then as more people are using the API outside of Hardcover, there's a chance that they'll find ways to hit the API in a way that is more taxing to our database than the the routes that we've set out from the website that are kind of optimized. So if people hit the database through the API in ways that we aren't expecting, it could be taxing on the database and affect performance of the website. So those are kind of my two concerns, but so far none of them have like taken the site down, but sometimes
Okay.
it does cause like the occasional single failed request here and there.
And that might translate to someone not seeing their import gone through, right? So in this case, they should just try again because it's a temporary thing.
Yeah, and the imports will usually like it'll retry after an hour if it gets hung up. So those will eventually complete, but yeah, it might take a little longer if there's a lot of people.
Yeah, I think that's happened when I imported a long while back ago. So just, I mean, in case this happens, everybody should wait because it will eventually come through. But yeah, it's been good to see like it's everything held up, and we had like I think now more than maybe it's like over 1,500. We might reach like 10K users. And it's funny because last week we talked about priorities, and our priority was to get the sites ready as possible. So instead of focusing 100% on new features, streamline the experience. And then this happened. So I don't know if it's fate or like things working, things going in sync, but yeah, seems we should do that more often, I guess.
Yeah, it worked out. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
looked at it,
exactly.
and there have been 1,600 new people since Saturday,
1,600. Yeah, that's
and
amazing. Yeah,
we're potentially on track to hit 10,000 today if pace continues,
yeah,
which is pretty cool.
that's yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I still can. I mean, thinking how much effort we put into our product hunt launch, for example, where we had 100 and like 75 or something, 65 signups, and just these really talented people just mentioning us, and boom, bringing in so many people on the site. It's been like really good to see. I mean, I was feeling good looking at the dashboard and seeing the reader number go up in real time. I've been like hitting that refresh button a lot these days. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely makes me that much more like aware of how like beneficial having like a YouTuber or TikToker or Instagrammer like post about us. Like that is that is like a whole nother level of um, like targeting compared
Mm-hmm.
to like the things we've posted on Reddit and subreddits. We've done that kind of thing. We've posted on social media a lot, but without our following or without the algorithm really putting it front and center for people. Um, the yeah the engagement and the number of people that will see that is going to be so much smaller. So yeah, it makes me optimistic about like when we do ever want to do any kind of paid ads or partnerships, doing those with book content creators seems like the way to go.
Oh yeah, definitely.
More
And
so than ads or anything else.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I was waiting for this to happen for the past 3 years, to be honest. I mean, I think we talked about this at least 10 times. Uh, so having this actually happen at some point after like 3 full years of us basically building and trying to promote hardcover, but uh, you can see the contrast in what we did, what our efforts did. I mean, they were like at their time very good, but compared to what someone who has an audience in the book space can do to your website. It's a good like thing to see this actually happening. And
Yeah.
yeah, I guess yeah,
And it's
it's good that
and it
yeah. No,
and
go
it's
ahead.
oh, it's just kind of also neat that like the video by Hardy's books that went more viral. He has like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So like our email list at Hardcover is bigger than like his subscriber base. But because the algorithm on YouTube decided to show his video to tons of people that had never heard of him, like they're getting more books, they're getting more followers as well because of this. So
Yeah,
it's just kind of cool that like two like neither of us are huge creators in the grand scheme of things in terms of our current audiences, but we're both like benefiting from each other, which is just
yeah.
a nice dynamic.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love that. I mean, I was waiting to see this happen, and yeah, I mean, now that we know it's happening for like the whole ecosystem, I mean, I'm hoping we'll be all part of this wave of mm, projects in the book industry that have like this fresh feeling attached to them, and that includes creators like Russ. Like, yeah, like
Yeah.
Haley. I mean, that's all part of it's all gotta work together, and it does. I mean, yeah,
Yeah. If uh if this pace continues, then we would potentially have enough paid subscribers to fund hardcover by like the end of June or July, which
if
would
that
be
happens, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and
Like
it's yeah. No, you go ahead.
that I mean that's exciting. Like that's one of the things we wanted to do by the end of the year. And now that's realistic, like with the current
Yeah,
trajectory. So that's also really exciting.
yeah, yeah, it's really good, and also a good moment to build this momentum. And it's double funny because we not only talked about streamlining the experience, but we also talked about doing stuff to make the supporter plan more attractive. So if you're a reader and you believe in what we're doing, definitely, if you can, try to subscribe because it helps a lot. And we'll be doing stuff to make the supporter plan even better, both feature wise and in the way it works. So that's like what we're currently prioritizing, and it's been good to see that actually happen without I mean, we barely started on that plan, and uh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
already moving in the right direction. Not because I mean we did some some stuff to improve it, but yeah, we got a lot more in the pipeline. Talking about hardcover, talking about our mission, talking about stuff that's happening in the industry. I had like a really good chats with people on the Discord server about AI
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. So yeah, it's gonna be really good to clarify what our position is, because we're a startup. We gotta grow. We gotta like put this product, which is obviously like very like good, and have readers, as many readers access it as possible, but at the same time take care of how we approach basically everything. So yeah, this was clearly a detail that hit a string, and I'm glad there was that debate, because it helps us as well. And everyone coming in the Discord server and talking about features or talking about what's not working, it's like, compared to how we started, but I mean, so few people like actually on the server, and props to who stuck with us from the beginning. Yeah, it's something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I feel like it definitely gives me like more um like it helps prioritize the things that are broken and things that are like needing assistance over like new features when people are reporting those things that are not working. Like I feel like some of the time when things are kind of quiet, it makes me think it sometimes can give a false sense of security on the reliability of the site. So having more people use the site also just like helps us prioritize a lot more.
Oh yeah, definitely. I know someone was asking like a couple of hours ago if we get those emails sent whenever there's an error. And yes, I mean mainly Adam, he's on the receiving end. But don't worry, I mean those emails help us diagnose. So whenever something's wrong, we know there's activity, and activity is good.
Yeah.
We'll fix it. I mean, we fixed so much stuff. I mean, over the
Yeah.
past years, that it's natural, and we only got here because people kept telling us this is broken, this is broken. We worked on this, and this is broken. So it's all natural at this point. I guess. I mean, I was a little freaked out at the beginning. Maybe you were too, Adam, but you know, you get used to it after a while.
Yeah. I feel like as long as the main things are stable and constantly stable. Like if there's ever a point when you can't like add books to your library, view your library, search, I feel like those are like those things need to be working like 100% of the time. But
Mhm.
like for anything else, like the farther down it goes, the more understanding people are.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, we eventually get to it. Also, there's like in each startup. I mean, I don't know what people know about us when they join. They certainly don't know that we're like just like a bunch of people like trying to like hold this huge thing and keeping it from breaking. Uh, and yeah, I guess it's much more how should I put it, interesting when you see the backstage of things, of us trying to fix everything and like rushing whenever there's a like disaster here, disaster there. uh, but luckily we haven't had those lately, which yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that's a good sign.
Well, speaking of look behind the curtain, do you want to jump into today's focus?
Yeah, so today, to give a little bit of context, last time we talked about priorities, and one of the priorities was revamping stats because we're preparing a new dashboard, and in that dashboard, we're planning to integrate some stats widgets. And those stats widgets could use a lot of we have new ideas to improve them, let's put it like that. uh, they when we release stats, I mean, I think they were in the industry pretty good, and they're still like holding up. But as we've been using them, we got new ideas of how much better they can be. So we're now at that time when, yeah, we actually gotta make them better. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm,
wanna jump in the
yeah. Do you want to share your screen for this one?
yeah, let's go. So
I'm kind of amazed still that we like created these initial stats at the end of 2022 as kind of our like marketing push for the end of 22. Like here, share your stats. Here's everything, and we mostly left it unupdated since then. So this will be kind of the first time to really like revamp it since then.
yeah, they held up pretty good. I mean, stats are pretty hard to nail, and we know that because there are many other book platforms who are struggling with stats. I think we have some of the most complex ones, definitely, and maybe uh, you know some of
It,
them are better
yeah,
looking, even.
there's a lot that's possible in this area for sure. So
Yeah,
so I guess at a high level, like right now, you can look at your stats overall and you can select a specific year and look at stats for that year. And this page changes to show instead of years, it shows months in that case. And that's kind of where we're at today. So in terms of like that high level, um, I'm wondering like, are there any other like high level changes that we want to make to stats, or do we want to keep it as all and per month
Well, you
or per
mentioned
year.
something. Yeah, I mean, it would be neat to have that at the stat level. So when I'm looking at stats, uh, the way I do it now is change this. So this is my life in books. I could change it to my April in books, and it would select my April 2024 in books. But I think you mentioned this last time we spoke. It would be neat to have that selector basically be at the stat level. So when you're viewing a stat, you could just select like the time span you want for that stat instead of like having it overall. Let me just delete these so we can have like a blank canvas over here. So um, I was thinking this selector, do you think we could, how do you imagine it?
Hmm. Yeah, because I'm thinking like the at a high level, the use cases that come to mind for me are yeah, my overall, my last year, and then I'm thinking like custom time span. So it's like I want to look at my last month in books or even the first 3 months of this year, kind of like a start and end date range. And technically,
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes, that's what our year in stats, yearly stats is. We're just like sending in a start date of the January 1st and end date of December 31st. So technically, like from a technical side, we already have that functionality. We just would need to change the interface to be able to pass in like a be able to select a start and end date. So it's almost like maybe instead of just life and year, there's range, and you give it a range.
Yeah, that would be great. I was just copying over some of the uh, filtering from the leather books page. So I'm just gonna put it here, and you can see if like it's close to what you are describing. I'm imagining it as, you know, we have this, but this is a pretty. I mean, it's a nice way to select everything, but you have to do it. You have to scroll to the top of the page. You have to change it. Um, and of course, you know, you can select a custom date range. What if we just put something like from, and this is a date, 14 May 2024 or 23 to, so this is 1 year. I'll put this here, maybe we may later search stats. Hmm? Do you think
Okay.
this kind of, I mean, this is like the first iteration, but
Yeah, I think something like that could work. I'm thinking like when when someone like loads their, I'm thinking about like that first visit, like someone's joined hardcover, they've imported their books, and maybe the next thing they do is they go to their stats page. And I'm thinking for that initial visit, what would be most impactful is just seeing like all of their stats for all time, and and but being able to filter it down from there. And I wonder about these two like only showing up if they selected like um, a date range or something. Like one thing that came to mind as you were doing that was I think in our um, recent redesign we have like those pills nav at the top for the user books.
oh yeah.
What if like the pills nav had um, like all and then I don't know. That might be that. I was thinking like 2024 or 2023. That might be too many links at the top though, because if someone's been a user for 20 years of their reading, that's going to be a lot of pills.
Well, they can just like, I mean, they can just like scroll through them. It's just a horizontal scroll, so they can just like do this. So basically, kind of like this
That's what I
is,
was just
is it?
thinking.
Yeah,
And then one of those would be like custom, and then custom would bring up the start end dates or something. Or
yeah, that could work. Uh, Another idea, I mean, well, I put this here and I was thinking maybe we could default to the last year, and maybe this calendar can have the months up top or the years, but so when you open the calendar, when you're selecting something on Skyscanner or and Airbnb, you have the date, the exact dates, and you also can be flexible and say, I'm, gonna search in March, or I'm gonna search in any on any date. I'm thinking something like that. Would that make sense? So could have
yeah,
this. Let me put in more years here. Let's say you're on importing your Goodreads, and your Goodreads goes all the way back to whatever. Like you've been using it for 20 years. Was it live 20 years ago?
16 years, 17 years. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Oh
thinking
wow.
like for the like hierarchy of usage, if like the top usage is seeing all your stats, and the secondary is probably seeing like your stats for this year or last year, or like maybe like how things have changed in the last year.
Mm-hmm. In fact, I mean, looking at this, what if, I mean, we could leave this here, and based on what year you choose, this could just change, and you could select like a custom date if you want it. Would that work?
It
The
could.
problem I have is I wouldn't know where to put like the custom date in here. So you have the years, but where you have like the custom date that brings this up.
Yeah. Or or maybe it's even another way to do this could be like um what if we keep something like this and have um this from beginning to now,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's what shows when you first like get to the page, and then you could just like maybe like on this drop down, or like mm, I'm thinking like if you wanted to set it to like 2023 or something, then clicking on this and seeing a calendar component might be overwhelming if you just want to filter by the last year, because then you have to go back to January 1st of last year rather than like if we just
True.
had this. But
Oh, so you mean just, yeah, just have these. I mean, if we have both this and that, and basically this change according to what you select here, uh, that could work. And you know, it just, but yeah, you gotta have both, else, you know, you either can select the date, so this would be like for all the books, but if you'd want to select 2023, you'd have basically January 2023 to uh, December 2023 or something like that. Let me change it back. So beginning and
yeah,
now would just be like your first date recorded, and now would be today.
yeah. What about something like that, but with like this as the or something. I don't know. I do kind of like having this up here or some kind of familiar header because I feel like our current stats page kind of feels like it's off in its own visual universe compared to the rest of the profile.
Yeah, exactly. Um, well, hmm. We could have my whatever in books, but this the problem with this is when you choose the custom dates, it kind of like breaks down, right? Because you can't say my uh, I don't know 3 May 2023 to 3 June 2024 in books, right?
Yeah, because we're potentially going to have something like this up at the top. I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, I think we should revamp that as well.
How do I do this?
Uh, I just put it in the. Let me back it up. Okay, here we go. So you'd have stats over here like this.
Yeah, it would probably be like starting there. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was looking for the way to like mask it so it didn't go over the edge, and you did it in like a second.
Yeah, well, it's the frames can be confusing in Figma, but see if you have like this and the frame and set to clip content, yeah, that's the trick.
Ah, clip content. That's what I was looking for. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um I like my life in books, especially because it's with like our serif font. But I'm thinking it could be even more dramatic. I mean, I could make an illustration for the stats, or you could just have. I mean, it should be right now. We're just like making the functional bit, but it should be something you'd wanna like definitely share on on socials. So yeah, it's, mm, right. You have your profile here, so it's could maybe be. Let's rewind this to the left. Maybe that works better. Okay. So if you'd have like the Chevron here, and you'd have
Yeah.
my life in books.
What? So here's a idea inspired by the 2023 year in books. It's it's like if as you're scrolling down this page, like each stat is kind of its own takeover of the entire page in mobile, but in
Mm,
desktop it's
yeah,
kind of its own section. If we did that, then I could see the purpose of this first page being choose your date range and your settings for this page. And then everything else is like dynamically um, generating from that. So we could almost think of this first
nice.
page, its entire goal is just setting the date range and the other options.
Yeah, I like that. So how would you see it?
Let's
uh,
see. So I guess like the questions are um, date range, and the options would be all time,
yes.
a single year, a date range, and then the other option would be comparison range. And this is only
Yeah,
if they selected a single year. And I don't think we would need to say comparison range. Maybe it would just be comparison with previous range, and that would be like a yes no checkbox.
oh yeah, maybe a toggle. Switch. How did I save it in the library? Toggle. Here we go.
Yeah. And
Do you like this?
yeah, changing it from my to username seems like a good step.
Yeah, because
Because
when
when
you
you're
share
looking,
it, yeah,
yeah, exactly. I've noticed that too. I'm like, I'm surprised no one's really like mentioned this yet.
Yeah. Uh,
um,
well, they're gonna notice it now.
cool.
Let me turn this into a rectangle. So okay, this and over here. I'm also thinking, if you would screenshot this and put it on your socials, especially if
Mm,
it's like you said, uh, you know, um, it takes the full height of the screen. Maybe we could take the chance to make it as visual as possible. This allows me to like go in and make some kind of illustration over here, or maybe we can use like the illustration for the most popular genre that year. That would be cool as well.
yeah, yeah. We could. One thing we could do is we have those um, genre placeholders or book headers. We could
Yeah.
potentially use those in a tiled way and show a couple of different tiles based on the genres that this reader reads. And that way it would be a little bit different for each person.
Oh yeah. Uh, Profile picture as well. Maybe that's nice. Oh, or we could show the covers. We could also do that. We had the nice styled covers for the list. I mean, what do
I'm
you think? Kind of
I'm
like this.
hesitant to do that here because it's going to change based on their date
Yeah,
range. And if we keep this page kind of general,
yeah, that's true.
or this not even page, this part of the page.
Yeah, let me grab one from here. Ba-bum. And let's see. Okay, we have it here. Uh, let's see how we dial these. Okay, let's put some. Okay, and we have a gradient here. Official penguin colors. Here we go. Okay, so just
Nice,
delete
yeah.
this. How the hell do you do it? No, not like this. Oh, okay. Now we're talking. Okay.
Yeah, that's looking cool.
Yeah. While you do that. Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, this does look like it would be pretty easy to just like select something really fast.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, you'd have the year, which is like what I'm guessing would be like the quick thing to check. Let's see how books I read in 2023 versus 2024. I've seen that on many people's sites or blogs, just like the yearly comparison. You could select the date, so it's from beginning to now. Let me give this more visible color. And you could show comparison. Comparison would be it will bring up a whole new different thing underneath, right?
I would see it as like if we have a line graph of pages read, we would show a second line that shows your previous year's pages read in a different color. So it's like it would it probably wouldn't be possible for every visualization we create, but for some visualizations that allow for comparison, it would work.
Yeah, that's cool. That's going to be nice to see. Okay, we can figure out how it changes when you actually toggle this afterwards. I'm thinking after this, you could maybe have like the quick stats, these ones over here.
Yeah, and these could probably like as you come to the page, it would like um, uh, increment up, so it would go like 0 to 1244
Mm.
real fast
Oh yeah,
using like a animated thing.
yeah, that would be really neat. Let me just make these. Okay, so let's stick to like some really. So this is not books read. This would be like let's say 2024 books read. If you're a really like productive reader, should we show like covers in here or anything like that? I was thinking, what other way. So I'm thinking if you'd share this on social media, what would you want there? Because my guess is that you wouldn't just want numbers. Maybe you'd want some covers as well. Would that be
Yeah,
like um, we could show maybe the uh, latest books read, or let me grab something with more covers from one of our designs.
yeah.
Here
Let's
we
see. So
go.
like if we were to show books, there's like most popular books you read, highest rated books you read, least popular. um, but yeah, like it's the one thing that's hard about books read is that uh, like customizing it to something that they they are most that's going to resonate with them as like we could do 5-star reads, but then I know like I'll read a comic book series that's 100 comics and I'll rate some of those 5 stars, but I don't think I'd want those because
Yeah, true.
like issue 47 is going to be less impactful than seeing like Circe.
Yeah, true. Okay, let's just leave it with the number then, and uh, I can maybe make an illustration or something just to have it,
Mm.
or we could put the. God, this is like so old. These designs are 2022. These are ancient by our standards.
Is this going to be like a one thing we could do is some kind of thing like you did for the loading book animation where we do some kind of SVG animation or something.
Oh
That's
yeah, that could be. Yeah.
yeah, that's even more work, but it's
Well, it's
how
gonna
did
be
you
static, and
how did you make that by the way? I forget. Was that a Rive one thing or
oh no, it was actually just like CSS SVG.
mm,
So I just there's like an example I followed. So yeah, basically, it's with uh, animated SVGs. So it's just like rectangles moving. It should all be just CSS. I tried it with Drive, and it was actually like more work. So what did I do? I made this smiley face. God damn it. Okay, not what I wanted to do. But let's put book here. Okay, so 2024 books read. Yeah, we could definitely make that here. Let me make this into book sparkles. So I guess the idea with these would be to have a more shareable, easier to browse, and more controllable uh, way to show the stats, right?
and
Uh,
so I think one thing we whoa, did I turn it? Okay. If I do this one here, as
which one
I was
is
thinking this
this
could be
one?
a neat place to do like um, comparison of like you to other people on the platform, like
Oh
top
yeah.
8% of hardcover readers or something like that. I was thinking about
Oh
changing
yeah.
this to like a chevron up, but I was a chevron up.
Here we go. We had something like that in the last stats. You're something like you're in the top 6% of readers on hardcover for that period, right? We can
Yeah.
do this. I mean, from a data point of view.
Oops. Yeah, I was even thinking like this could be per stat. If you're like, there's one for authors, one for book
Oh yeah,
referrals.
let me put that underneath. Maybe have it. Well, let's just put it
Yeah,
here.
one of the things I was thinking was like that. But then
Oh
again,
yeah, yeah, that could work. Let me see. I was
yeah,
experimenting with maybe put it like this since that's a big number and books read. Where was yours? Top 6%. I think we can even like just put it there visible. Would you not want it visible at all times?
I'd probably want it visible at all times.
I mean,
I
if
think
it
I,
sits like this, yeah.
yeah, I think I did like this better down here.
Okay, that's good. I mean, it can sit there. You could even like put
I'm just
like the icon here.
playing with this for a sec. With the what other colors
Oh
look
yeah.
like.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is kind of like the financial charts.
Yeah, yeah, if it was like
Um, we could put some visualizations in the background. I really liked how we have the charts in the table view. Here we go. Yeah, that's nice.
probably even make it smaller here. Uh,
Yeah, we could put something in this area so it's not.
I think there's a thin one. Yeah. Oh, no, that's a little too thin.
Yeah. Well, we're fixed in production. That's okay.
What is sharp solid? All these font awesome ones that I hardly ever use, like sharp solid versus solid. Solid has like rounded edges. Sharp solid has hard corners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Or
for me, it's depending on the mood. Sometimes I really like the rounded edges. Sometimes I'm just like, oh crap, rounded edges again. They look so slick when they're, those like blunt corners. But then the next day I'm like, soft edges, nice, smooth.
yeah, well,
And yeah, would you have like more than one stat over here? So the way we have it now, these top stats, these quick stats are kind of like they're up top,
ooh,
but
that's a good idea. Like I, I could see that. And what about like as this comes in, we could put in like um, let's say we do find a way to do books, and maybe we just put in like um, a handful of these that like come in with some kind of animation.
oh yeah, that'd be
So,
really nice.
So
I was
like
even
imagine like one and then another one on top of it. So it almost like it looks like it's like filling in over on the right side with the one on top of another until like there's like five of them
yeah,
showing here.
yeah, that'd be really cool. I mean, we could do this. Let me just like, yeah, now you can play with the margin, so we can just do
Oh yeah.
this. Whoop, here we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really neat. Yeah, I mean, if we do find a way to add books, and they can just be like the 5 stars, or I mean, even if you find the book that you didn't like over there, you still read it. I mean, if you didn't DNF it, it's still there. It's a book you read in that year, so it counts towards the stats, even if you didn't like it. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're gonna have 100 comics that you rated, yeah, why not? I mean,
And we have a new field for book type. So we could filter for only things that qualify as a book under the book type.
yeah, true. So you wouldn't have like if you read uh, what would count as a book over here, but it's actually a 100 series like manga or something. Yeah, you wouldn't have.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be filled with all this. Yeah, if we can find a way to do it, that's gonna look like very good.
Yeah.
And we could do the same for authors. My question was, I mean,
Mhm.
if it's worth um, not mixing these up, so you could have this, so you'd have like this box which is like the full height of the screen, and here in this model you'd have like authors, so probably here you'd have let me grab an avatar from the library. uh, so you'd have Jules, you'd have N.K. Jemisin, and you'd have Brandon Sanderson, all good authors. And yeah, they could stack the same way. Make
Yeah.
this smaller. But another way it could happen, so this can just animate like this. So they can be like, whoop, boom, boom, boom. But we could also like have each stat. I mean, the way I like the way the Erin Books page, because for some sections where it just featured the book, it was just about that book. Let me put this here so we don't lose it, just in case this ends up looking like crap. Uh, so we could have this. Maybe we could have the bigger covers. Whoa, okay, not that big. Uh,
Oh, I see what you mean.
yeah.
So it,
So
yeah, so it's like the first card is celebrating the number of books you've read. So it's not because that is a big thing. So
uh huh.
yeah, I think I do like this. I think on mobile especially, like doing it
Yeah.
this way makes sense.
Yeah, and on desktop we could just like keep this card and just maybe like put 2 columns in, kind of like we did for the. I mean, the Erin Books page looked very good, and it had a lot of blank space, but you could focus on the thing at hand, and you could like easily screenshot it. That could have been a social post. So I'm thinking, yeah, maybe if you have the bigger covers, it's also easier to share. So. You could have like even more. You could have 2 rows of covers, because yeah, let's assume you read like. And what else could we put
Yeah.
here?
Another one thing we could do is almost show it the same way we show um, the shelf view in
Oh yeah.
library.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we did something like that, it would kind of look like, let me sort by book popularity.
This would come in like this. Whoop whoop. Yeah, this would be really neat to see our books like animate like this in 2 rows. Oh yeah. and they
This
can
is what.
just animate like that.
Mm,
And this could come in, and this could come in as well. Yeah, and we can like replicate that animation throughout the.
yeah, yeah. So it would like as you show this card, it would animate up the 244, and it would also almost like it would also do maybe like this first book and then the second book and the third book on top of it and then like the next row on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe started
Yeah,
maybe these are animating at the same time, but this row starts like while
with the
this like
delay.
second book is starting. So
Oh
it
yeah.
so they're not like both animating at the same left to right pace.
Uh huh. Yeah, that'd be like yeah, pretty. We can do it with frame of motion. So, uh, yeah, that's this is gonna look really good. If we animate them, and maybe even if we scroll snap, and it triggers when you animate it, you can just like browse through all of these sections, or like yeah, not scroll snap it, just like show it as it comes into view.
Yeah.
Nice. And we could do like the same with authors. Let's put in some like big images over here. And even if you have, let's say you read three authors, it wasn't like such a good year for you, just like had like not so many books read. You could just center these and it will still be like a
Mm.
nice. And maybe I was thinking Uh, so this wouldn't be like top. It would just be like bottom. Or how should we
Maybe
put it?
maybe we
Should we
don't
show
even show it.
bottom?
Yeah, maybe we
Yeah,
don't even show it unless you're in at least the top like 25%.
yeah, that's true. We can just say three authors read. Stats this way will be like a really good incentive to make you read more, which I kind of like. And yeah, maybe we could put like a nice background here, which is like your favorite genre, your like the author in like that that genre, and this can come in like this, and yeah, you have three authors. But if you have like 10 authors, they would animate just like the books, and
Yeah. And what if I think we have like a badge. What about like showing the badge next to like the author to show like how many of each book they read? So it's like, you would see a
yeah,
badge on each of these avatars for like 3 books by
even
this avatar, 4 books by this avatar. Or
uh-huh, three. Should it say books as
maybe not.
well,
I think
or just
well,
three?
yeah.
Yeah. Put this so it's an accent color. So make it slightly bigger, and yeah. So you have three books by Jules. Where do you think it should sit? You have uh, two by N.K. Jemisin, and you read all the Brandon Sanderson books. Like I don't know how many are there. 30, 30, 50, 60. That's 66. Did I get
Like
that right?
probably. It's like, yeah, you read 3 authors, but it kind of shows you read a lot by each of them.
Yeah. Really big on Sanderson this year. So, yeah. Like this, or it could just be like in the corner. So, like this.
Yeah, let's see.
Wait, I
We
have to
have
not.
what about
Oh,
the green one?
yeah. Wind these or here. And if they're authors, maybe we don't have to like stack them on top of each other. So
Yeah,
we can
true.
go like this. And then we put like a stroke on Jules. So it doesn't get
Yeah.
confusing.
Our unknown avatar, or we do not have an avatar on file for this author.
Oh
uh,
yeah,
so,
true. Yeah,
so yeah, but it would still show when you like hover over it, like hover over each of these, you'd see the author name.
yeah, the tooltip. Mm-hmm.
But on mobile, what you can't hover over, I
Hmm.
guess I guess this isn't like a deep dive into the authors. Like if someone has read,
Yeah,
20 different authors, there's no way we could show a bunch of names. So this is more
yeah,
celebrating the number of authors. So I think it's okay to not have the names here.
yeah, definitely. And if you, I mean, we could put links on them and just like take you to the author page. If
Yeah.
yeah, you're on. We could even do the like quick view for authors,
Mm.
maybe in the drawer. But yeah, maybe not complicate. Maybe we just link to their page and that's it. You just go back and yeah,
Cool. Well,
yeah,
this is a seems like a good start to what's going to be a pretty big change to stats.
This is exciting. We already like nailed some. So I I'm liking this because it's way easier to share and way better. I'd share this on social at the end of the year, especially if I was in the top 25%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
this is
and
nice. Yeah.
and I think one of the things we were thinking about is that for each maybe for each stat on this page, there might be a share option that would share
Mm,
that thing
yeah.
to like you could generate an image of just this box that you could share on Instagram Reels or um, as an image or something. So maybe like it's a drop down or a drawer, and some of the options in it are like save as PNG or save as something, and then at that point, each of these could be generated as a standalone image, which would be really neat.
Yeah. Yeah, just put the share icon in there and we can figure out the options there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good progress. I mean, for everyone watching, let us know how you're liking this like first step into the new stats. And if you have any other ideas, definitely let us know. Uh, they're gonna look very good and they're gonna be like the most complex stats over there. And yeah, I'm excited that we're like circling back to stats after 2 years.
Yeah. I I think my hope is that, by the end of the year we have the dashboard where you can put some stats on there if you want. More the less the ones we are doing today that are general stats and more like, you know, pages read last month compared to previous month or stats like that you might want to see every day. But also have this in a place where people could share it the same way people share their Spotify Wrapped.
Yeah, and with those animations it's gonna look like very very cool. And I'm already liking where it goes visually. It's way easier to not just informative but it looks good.
Yeah, cool. Well,
Nice.
that's a good chat this week. Thanks for jumping on, and yeah, I guess talk to you next week. And next week we will have some a guest on.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was gonna ask if we should tell people about the. We're gonna tell you like in the course of this week's, but it's gonna be after Jeff, who's like technically part of the team, our second, let's say, guest on Hardcover Live, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be exciting. Should we tell him the name,
yeah, it's
or
going to be Ross from Hardy's Books who made the YouTube video. So he's up for jumping on, and we'll be kind of chatting with him about kind of his experience as a book influencer, but also just his take on social book apps. And so we'll be putting together some questions for him before next week.
yeah,
So if you have
very
any
exciting.
recommendations or questions we should ask him, um, feel free to shoot me an email or jump on our Discord and let us know.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, thanks everyone for joining, and yeah, see you next week.
See ya.
Bye bye.